This is WFYI News Now. It's Friday, January 16th, and I'm Sarah Neal Estes. Here are today's Central Indiana and statewide stories. The deadline for a decision on the rezoning request to build a controversial data center in Indianapolis has been extended. Farrah Anderson has more from the Martindale-Brightwood neighborhood.
Residents of the historically black neighborhood have pushed back for months against the proposed development from the California-based data center developer MetroBlocks. On Thursday, some showed up at the Metropolitan Development Commission's hearing to oppose the plan from the tech company. One of those residents is Sierra Johnson, who serves as vice president of community group One Voice Martindale-Brightwood. She says she's excited to have 30 more days to organize her community against the data center proposal.
We are excited for the next 30 days. This gives us an opportunity to do more research. We are still in strong opposition to the development of this data center and ones across the state.
The next meeting of the hearing examiner is on February 12th. I'm Farrah Anderson in Indianapolis.
A handful of affordable housing units have been sold by the Indianapolis Housing Agency and will be under new management. Jeremy Rubin has the story from content partner Amir Indy.
IHA sold 7 affordable housing properties to Seattle-based housing management company Vitus Development, LLC. Yvonne Bean, IHA's CEO, says she's hopeful the purchase will help transform the properties. As a condition of the sale, IHA will still own the land under each of the sold properties. Bean says this will help ensure the apartments stay affordable. But residents are skeptical. Concerns remain about facility upkeep and transparency. I'm Jeremy Rubin.
Indiana Congressman Jim Baird is seeking re-election. The Republican from Greencastle represents Indiana's 4th congressional district, which includes much of rural northwest Indiana. Baird assumed the office in 2019. Earlier this month, he and his wife were in a widely reported car crash. Both were transported to the hospital and released after medical treatment. And at the State House, legislation that would prohibit Indiana's children from having social media accounts has some traction. It would ban children younger than 14 from having access to or keeping accounts. It would also place evening curfews for usage for those children who do get permission to own accounts from their parents. Caroline Beck reports.
Indiana's Secretary of Education, Katie Jenner, made a passionate plea to lawmakers over the measure, saying that children's minds are not developed enough yet to combat the addictive features of social media.
They are growing up in what is now the largest unregulated experiment ever conducted on young minds.
While school leaders are largely supportive of the ban, 2 Democrats on the committee voted against the bill because of another unrelated provision that could place low-earning college degrees at risk of being eliminated in Indiana. I'm Caroline Beck at the State House.
Homeless encampments are the target of a Senate bill considered by Indiana lawmakers. Jill Sheridan reports this is the second year legislators tackled the topic.
The bill's author, Republican Senator Cindy Carrasco, says she wants to address chronic homelessness in a responsible way.
The goal of Senate Bill 285 is not to criminalize homelessness.
Language in the bill says someone who is camping on public property may be charged with a misdemeanor and could be fined or jailed with repeat offenses. Chelsea Herring-Cozy, CEO of the Coalition for Homelessness Intervention and Prevention, spoke against the measure and says Indianapolis already has a program working to house people, provide services, and clear camps.
Adding barriers like misdemeanor charges will only slow down our process by disrupting connection to services, redirecting funds to pay for fines and court fees, and ultimately make things worse.
Last year, lawmakers considered a similar proposal that ultimately failed. I'm Jill Sheridan.
Indiana residents face rising utility costs amid an increasing demand for electricity. Zach Castle reports on legislation that would change state nuclear regulations.
Indiana doesn't have any commercial nuclear power plants, but Governor Mike Braun supports utility companies exploring the development of small reactors. The Indiana Department of Environmental Management proposed the new bill. If approved, it would no longer require permits from the agency to build a new nuclear facility, and IDEM would lose the ability to convene a public hearing on the environmental effects of a facility. Alex Goodnight is a deputy legislative director for the department.
The state can't regulate radiological safety. We can keep an eye on things, of course, but it's up to the federal government.
Opponents say the bill restricts public feedback. I'm Zach Castle in Indianapolis.
The top-ranked Indiana University football team will play for a National Football Championship next Monday night. This would be the first national title for the Hoosiers. Head coach Curt Cignetti said he's prepared the team just like he did for every game this season.
The biggest mistake our guys can make, and that I'll talk to them tonight in the team meeting about this, is making this game bigger than it is.
That game is 7:30 p.m. Monday night. That's all for this episode of WFYI News Now. Today's podcast is produced by Drew Dodlin with support from the news team at WFYI and public media journalists across the state. Kendall Antron produced our music. And if you liked today's episode, remember to subscribe and share. And follow WFYI on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube to get the latest updates from our newsroom anytime. Thank you for listening. We'll be back Tuesday morning.